Hi yogis, it's Holly. I'm here to give you a 1 hour practice. You can use any part of it any way you like. I'd like for you to take time just to sit first on your own and do some breathing. Check in. We've had plenty of time for contemplation and gratitude, but it's always good to start your practice with the intention of serving yourself well so that you can serve others. Take a nice inhale in and fully, completely exhale everything out. Cleansing, brightening, inspiring inhale. Hold at the top of the breath and allow your jaw to drop down as you exhale. Let all the breath, all the stress leave your body. Let's do a few rounds just like this before we get started with movement. Just taking time to make space between the secular and the sacred. Taking this time as a sacred space for yourself. Inner listening, inner looking, inner being. Okay, yogis, let's take a moment here on your mat for any sort of movement that you need. It's okay to do some neck circles, maybe some side bends and stretches that feel good to you. And then we're going to get up and get moving. So as I approach my mat, I am going to start with something I like to call walking in place. Right now my heels are lifting. I'm going to work towards getting my heels nice and flat. So the only thing moving are the motions of my hips, my knees, my ankles, little rotation in the spine. I like to use my arms. Think of yourself walking down Hollywood Boulevard, but you're stuck in place. You've got gum on your stilettos, but you still got to attract all the callers. So I'll do it facing you now so you can see what that looks like. Dusty, could you please get out of the way so everybody can see that my feet are in place? I'm actually reversing as well as traversing to go nowhere. Stay at home. Stick your butt out a little bit, and then we'll come to the top of our mat. This will not be a traditional practice. This will be based on the work that I like to do for myself. We'll interlace our hands, take base of support, nice wide stance, maybe hip distance or more apart. Lift your chest, do some cat-cow while you're standing here with your arms in extension, hands clasping. Now stick your butt way back, bend your knees, lay your belly on top of your thighs, and let your arms up and over. If you need a strap here, it's a good place. Now I'm doing a little nodding of my head yes to the top of a head yes and to the bottom of a yes. And then I'm doing a little no. Just allowing my head to have some traction and my arms to extend as far above my head, even changing positions of my hands, internally and externally rotating arm bones, hooking your thumbs like a little moose head. And then we'll come into a skier pose, skier position, and reach your arms forward. Long spine. Breathe here. And then when you're ready, forward fold onto your thighs. I like to keep my knees bent. And with my knees bent, I'm going to do a little cat-cow undulation here. Fingertips either on bricks or on the floor. If you can't reach the floor, grab some books or bricks. as if you were on your knees, but here you're on bent knees, feet rooted onto the earth, and then fold in. If you can, fold all the way in. You'll see that I'm wrapping my arms through, lifting my hips up, getting a little bit more stretch through the back of the pelvis. And I'm going to step back into a forearm plank for a moment, just bringing myself down to the floor. I use my 3-minute egg, extra large bricks. I'm going to place my forearms on the bricks and come on down into a Sphinx pose. That may be too much for many of you. Just keep your forearms on the floor. And here I'm doing cat-cow on my belly. Changing the position, making the breath move through the body in a different way. Heart comes through the gate of the arms. Belly firms in on the way back. And then a big long stretch into a child's pose. Stretch your arms forward. Move your hips back toward your heels. Relax your forehead onto the earth or onto a brick. Gaze forward between your hands and then bow in a little bit onto your hands and your knees. Okay. Let's come to seated. Bring your hands onto the bricks or onto the earth and lift up into tabletop, Purvottanasana. Look down the front of your body. Really engage your glutes, lift up. Maybe warm your wrists by shifting forward and back. I like to lower my butt a little and then lift it up. Any sort of movement that feels good here. Don't let your legs splay. Rather, keep your inner thigh muscles on. I'm going to add a gorgeous ball just to keep my inner thighs in check. Oh, hi, Dusty. Come on over and say hi. So cute. So I'm squeezing the ball between my inner thighs so that there's more pelvic floor and belly action. Lean back, stretch back, and then place your hips down. Feel free to do some tricep dips here. Strengthening through the back of the arms, strengthening through the massive swath of lat muscles. Working some rotations here, just warming my shoulders. And as you set your hips down, we're going to move the brick against the back of the pelvis so that you can feel both sacroiliac joints leaning against the brick. Lift your chest, take your arms out like you are bent elbowed. You can have your knees bent here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze that ball, but not over squeeze. Just a little sense of inner thigh on. I'm going to pass the ball between my hands and my feet. Core strengthen. Breathing the whole time. Do 400 of them. I don't care. I'm only going to do about 6. When you're ready, come on to your hands and your knees. I like to pick up my brick because I keep inner thigh action on. It helps me to activate my belly. Back into a down dog. You'll notice that I come up onto my fingertips. You don't have to do that. Here I'm doing some cat-cow work in my down dog. Maybe you can do that too. Nice long hold with breaths. Heels lift, knees bent. Send your butt back. Maybe move your hips from side to side. Getting into the sides of your waist. Knees come back down. So we're going to thread through. But I'm going to keep true to the squaring of the hips. So reach your right arm out. It's only the right side of the chest that lifts. The hips stay stable. Big stretch, thoracic twist. Threading through without touching the floor, just keeping the hips stable. Reaching up into the sky. So push through your left hand, reach through your right. If your right hip is trying to come with, pull it back. Draw your left hip back. Find the breath. So we're not trying to over-rotate here. We're just trying to rotate as much as the upper back can handle stability with rotation. Second side, left arm reaches up. Notice I'm not pulling my left arm all the way back. I'm maintaining true to just the rotation of my spine. See there, my left hip's wanting to come with. I'm going to pull it back and reach through. Nice, open stretch. Full and complete rotation. That's all I got. All right, I'm going to set up with my bricks. I generally like to use my bricks for my practice. Tuck your toes under. Take your hands to the eyebrows of your buttocks. Push your sacrum down, just like I'm doing. You don't need to throw your head back. Keep your chin toward your chest just a little bit. I'm going to reach back with my left hand and reach my right arm straight back. And then because I've rotated, I'm going to look down at my left heel. I use my right hand to pull my ribs around and then reach back. Second side, left arm reaches up and back, chest lifts. Maybe take a gaze over that right shoulder and then draw your ribs around so your chest is square toward the sky. Stretch up. And then sit back, sitting seiza. Maybe take a rest. I'm going to take a child's pose, but it's really extended here. Really long thoracic spine. Sitting bones moving back towards your heels. Okay, we'll do some cat-cow. This is just a massive thoracic warm-up. It feels really good. Send the breath through the curves of your spine. Okay, shoulder stability, forearm on brick. Reach your right arm into the sky. Maybe take your hand to the back of your head. I'm going to do some additional rotations here, fighting to keep my pelvis square. You can see that there is some rotation there. I'm doing my best. I'm shortening the rotation just to point my elbow toward the front left corner of the room. Straighten, straighten. Reach and lift your hips away from the floor. And we'll come to the other side. Notice how high my hips are here. You can work that too. Flex your feet. Left hand behind your head, maybe gaze up. I'm going to give myself a lengthener here first, and then I'm going to start my rotations in plank pose. Try to get the right shoulder down and away from your ear. Bring your shoulder blade onto your back. Don't overstress the front head of your shoulder. I don't know if you can see this, but my upper arm is moving at an angle forward to get as much length out of my lats as possible. Back to plank. This is called ocho. Now the rotation is not happening in the upper body, the rotation is happening ideally in the hips. So it's like salsa dancing in plank. You can do your legs really close together, or you can have your legs really far apart. Here we go, child's pose, Anahatasana. Hips over knees. Or child's pose, whichever you prefer. Undulate forward. And now we're going to go back into that Sphinx pose. Stretch your whole body into locust pose. Big stretch. Inner thighs moving towards each other. And then we'll press up and back to downward facing dog. Wide feet. Kneecaps engaged, lifting up towards your hips, heels pressing down. Push your thumbs and pointer fingers into the floor, spread your fingers. Breathe here. Move the tops of your thigh bones as far away from your ribs as you can. Each breath that comes. All right, maybe take your left arm and bring it behind your back. Reach up toward your ponytail if you've got a ponytail. And maybe gaze underneath your right arm. It's a little tiny twist here. Bring it back, outstretch your left arm. Bring your right hand behind you. Nice shoulder strengthener. Keeping the weight even between your legs. Keeping the weight even between each side of your ribs. And then maybe taking that little gaze underneath your left arm. When you're ready. And come back to center and reach your arms for downward facing dog. Few more breaths here. Take it forward. Take your feet forward to your hands. And bend your knees deeply. Lay the backs of your hands against the floor like an orangutan. And this is a stretch for your wrists and your forearms. So I'm just swiping the tops of my hands along my mat. You could see there's like a shadow of a squirrel running across. That's funny. Bend and straighten your legs. Do a little waggle, moving your hips away from your shoulders. Heels lift, knees bend. Try to balance here. Lift the backs of your kneecaps up into your kneecaps. Lift your heels. Lift your hips. Oops. Coming back in. Find your balance. Find your gaze. And then forward fold. So we're going to bring our left knee into our chest and reach the left leg straight back and in. Just little donkey kicks. Now notice if your hips are moving in place. Try to keep your hips even and just pump the leg. Use the place where your butt meets your leg, your leg. Right side, bend your knee in. If you can't reach the floor, feel free to use bricks. Notice my standing leg, my left leg is bent a little bit, giving my hamstring a chance to stabilize, my quad to stabilize. The bleg. And bring it down. Take a moment here in rise up, reach up, stretch up. Elongate your whole spine and bring your hands to your heart. And breathe, embody your body. All right, I am going to go and get one of my yoga tune-up balls. I've decided in the middle of my practice to roll out my ankles. I need a little bit more range of motion. So Dusty and I are going inside just for a moment. If you need to go get some yoga tune-up balls yourself, I'm going to be using the blue Therapy Ball Plus for this. The reason I'm rolling my ankles is that I noticed when I was in my squat that my ankles felt tight and it was limiting my balance, my ability to stay still. I use the practice of inner noticing while I practice, so I can spontaneously and authoritatively take initiative to treat my body in ways that need. If you want to pick a different area of your body to roll out, feel free to grab your balls, maybe grab your balls. So I've just placed the ball on top of my foot, and I am using both weight and gravity and movement to affect change on my ankles. Now I'm going to turn over and actually manually roll the ball around what is called your lateral malleolus, the outer ankle, and some of the fibularis muscles that attach. All one continuity. Making bread out of my ankle. Now I'm going to do the other side. Oops. Try to get a good camera angle for you. So I am manually squashing my calcaneus bone down towards the floor, hoping to get more range of motion, even in the bones around the top of my foot, the bottom of my foot, the tibia, the bottom of the leg. All sorts of good stuff to do here. Sustain compression, breathe. And then use that little technique to roll out the lateral malleolus, ankle bone, ankle area. All the tissues that go all the way up to my hips. And yours too. Hey, Dust. What you doing? He doesn't care about my balls. He has no interest in balls. Maybe because he has none anymore. Oh, hello. I love you. I love you, Dusty. Let's have a moment. Yep, yep, yep. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Oh, yes, we love each other very much. Oh, little face rub. Snuggle, snuggle. All right, back to balls. Back to business. Okay, so now we're going for the inner thigh. This is where the psoas connects. This is not the hoo-ha. This is where the psoas connects to the lesser tubercle, I think it is, of the femur. This muscle starts way up by your ribs, your lower ribs and your lumbar spine. Major hip flexor. Stack up my bricks, and before I'm going to work on my external rotation poses, I'm feeling a little groin tightness from sitting on my couch too much. This whole area gets really tight. Take your time. Oh, I think I'll do a little twist here since I'm in this great position. A little bind and twist, working upper thoracic rotation. And I'm actually stretching the psoas on that left side, pulling the top of the muscle away from the bottom of the muscle with sustained compression. This may look like that I'm working on my hoo-ha. I swear I'm not. This is circa hoo-ha, but not hoo-ha. This is definitely in the area of inner thigh. Massive stretch of the left side body away from the ball location. Really prepping for my warriors and my side angle poses here. You can see that. Ooh. Ball goes away. Legs are positioned for side angle pose. I'm going to use my bricks. 5 toes of the front leg facing forward, knee pressing into elbow. Maybe a 90-degree angle in your knee, ankle. Maybe add both arms. Now, I do not like a lot of hip compression, so I stick a brick between my ribs and the top of my thigh. That way I can feel the pressure of my breath against the brick and against the top of my thigh. Back leg is like the rudder of a ship. Breath is flowing. Maybe straighten the front leg. I'm going to take my brick and place it underneath the calf muscle of my front leg. It gives me more support for my hamstring. Notice I use my bricks throughout my practice. My pelvis is facing slightly towards the floor and I'm rotating my upper back open. And take the bricks out. Spin your back heel up. Stretch back to down dog. The leg I was just working, the right leg, that was the front leg. It open stacks. I'm going to square my hips here. And now we're going to do moon rises, keeping the left leg stable. Internally rotate and externally rotate your left hip. So it looks like all the action's going on the right side. The right side is following along the actions of the left hip. The right knee comes in. I am going to Ekapada Kundinyasana. Otherwise known as triangle pose in an arm balance. And reach your right leg straight back, square your hips, and then bring the leg across into the rotation. These are options. You could just be doing your knee to nose around your spine through the whole thing just for strengthening. And now we'll start on the second side. So left foot steps through, spin your back heel flat, set up your bricks. Left knee, 90 degrees, tailbone down towards the floor, pelvic bones lifting toward your ribs. Spin your arm bone toward your face, tricep portion of your arm toward your face. Reach like the rudder of a ship through the back heel. I'm going to add the bottom arm, but for me first, this is my weaker side, so I'm going to place my brick in between my ribs and my thigh again, and then I'll add the arm variations. Very careful on my left side because I had a torn hamstring maybe 15 years ago. Definitely weaker on my left side. Turn your chest towards the sky. Let the sun come in. And now we'll set up for triangle pose. If you want to come all the way up to stand up, you are welcome to. It's kind of a wide variation for me, but I'm feeling it today. Notice I do not straighten my left knee all the way. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Just depends on how the activity of my hamstring feels in a particular day. Every day is different. Okay, so we're going to square our hips to the mat. Got to spin that right heel up. And we'll step back to down dog. Left leg lifts up. Root through your right heel, and we'll begin the internal rotation and the external rotation of the thigh. If you need a little break here first. Left pelvic bone moves towards right inner thigh. Left pelvic bone moves away from right inner thigh. This is a very different type of movement. It's deep internal rotation and deep external rotation. It's a variation of moon rises. the right moon and the left moon. Notice I'm fighting like crazy to keep my hips square. Okay, as the left leg comes in, you're going to work into your arm balance, or you're just going to bring knee to nose around your spine and do your pumps like you do in your yoga class. I like a little arm balance here. See, the rotation is only in the hips. Shoulders stay square. Down dog, breathe. Walk your hands back to your feet. Extend your spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Deep bend of the knees and rise up. Stretch up. Okay, after that, I like a little bit more walking in place. It's my little counter pose that I do throughout my practice. And here, this is called Yoga Booty Ballet. So the right heel stacks up on top of the left foot. Outstretch, huge lateral flexion, huge lateral extension. Reach your arms up, side bend, and then really stick your butt out. Get a good stretch in your piriformis, glute med, glute max, glute min, all those great glute muscles. Here we're stretching the glute muscles, and here we are stretch. A little Holli for you. Do 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 do. Whoosh. And then the second side. So I like to give myself a little bam, bam, bam on the piriformis, a little self-massage. I think I'm going to fall over. Woo! Big side stretch. Dig deep. Knees bend, knees straighten, inner thighs on. Big side stretch, maybe even hold on to that out wrist. Oops. Here's me playing, digging in the dirt. Little nutty as usual. Okay, so, yep, that'd be the tush wiggle with the deep squat. Go for deep squat. Heels, see how my heels are down now? Finally. Okay. Hi there. Hi. Nice to see you. Interlace your hands. Get a good stretch of the shoulders. And then come on up. All right, are we ready? It's time for Warrior 2. Gaze over your middle finger. Bend into your front knee. Move your front knee towards the right. Let your pelvis angle off to the right and let your ribs angle towards the side. Reach back, reverse warrior, big stretch. Maybe gaze down at your left heel. Straighten your front leg, reverse triangle. Both legs really active. And then we'll come into your variation of a vinyasa. And breathe. I try to pull as much length out as I can. Left leg steps through, spin your back heel flat, and let's set up for Warrior 2. Here's a good time to breathe and gaze. Reflect. I embody my body. I am a student of my body. I am a student of my breath. Reverse, stretch back, gaze down at your right heel, give your neck a break. And when you return to Warrior Two, you inhale and you exhale. As usual, I forget something, but take your time. As you moved through your vinyasa and you stretch back. So we'll come back through the midline into Prasarita, toes in, heels out, forward fold. Relax your head down. Relax your neck down. And now we're going to come into temple pose, so maybe bring your feet closer together. Knees, ankles, toes at the same angle. Lift your right heel. Keep your left heel rooted. Drop your hips 6 inches. Reach your arms up 6 inches. Jump switch. Left heel up. Right heel down. Breathe. Whee! Heels up. Up. UP up. Great day for up, as Dr. Seuss would say. I always like a little butt wiggle in my practice. And now we'll forward fold into Ardha Uttanasana, long, long spine. Breathe it. Find your Uttanasana. That's all I got. I am breathing it in. Okay, so as you bend your knees, we're going to start to prepare here for that little heel lift. Hands root down onto the earth. Forearms root down into the earth. Baby Bakasana. Inner knees squeeze into outer arms, nose 2 inches from the floor. Toes come down, knees wide apart. Outstretch your arms ahead of you. Shift your hips back. Get as much length in your lower back as possible. And now we'll move into Baka. So hips go and back go really high. And then the hips go low as Uddiyana Bandha squeezes in. Heels rise to your tush. Okay, right leg only down, left leg into the sky. From Baka, just right leg down, left leg only into the sky. Interlace your hands. Find the balance shape. Find the strength where your butt meets your leg on the left side. Extend your chest forward. And then bring your left knee up and in and crisscross in for Garudasana. Left arm wraps under right. Find your gazing point. Move your hips back, 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 and down, down, down. Bend your knees. Bend them. Bend your darn knees already. Bend them. Now, as we come up, first we're going to open the arms and then reach the left leg out to the side. Lean to the right. Lean. Woohoo! Yell it. Woo! And come on back in. Let's do the second side. Forward fold back to Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana. You choose. Hands to the earth. Climb aboard the Bakasana train. And this time the right foot comes down. No, the left foot comes down. And the right leg extends up into the sky where your butt meets your leg. Hi, Dusty. And here we go with the balance pose. The arms come behind you. Square in the hips. Take your time. Extend your shoulders. Find your gazing point. Lift through your leg where your butt meets your leg. And then bring the right knee up, up, up. And crisscross. Add the arms. Left arm under right. I can never figure it out. Move your hips back and down and back and down and back and down. Bend your knees. Bend your knees. Bend your knees. Maybe outstretch your elbows forward. And here we go. Open your arms. Outstretch your right leg. Reach. And then bring your knee in and down. You did it. Little dance, little victory dance. Tadasana. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, wide legs. We'll take our squat into a squat, big deep squat. And then forward fold. Hips come up, heels go down. Let's check in here. I embody my body. Okay, right leg is your standing leg, left leg lifts. We're coming into Ardha Chandrasana. So if you need a brick, grab a brick under your right hand. Open. Make sure you can see your big toe of your left foot. Look down your body. Make sure you can see it. It's not flying behind you. It's in front of you. Your abs are on. Okay, so this is another hip stability piece here. So you're going to look down at your right hand whenever you're ready. I'm really holding this one long. Good strengthening, good solid strength. Look down at your right hand. Bend your right knee. Bring your left hand to the floor. Square your hips. Then re-straighten your right leg. Check in with your sacrum. Check in with your torso. And then add the rotation. Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana. Voila. Hot damn. You look good. And then bend both knees. Come back into the seed. Reach up into the sky and bring your hands into your heart center. Forward fold. And then float your right leg up. Open your hip into Ardha Chandrasana. Feel free to grab a brick. Flex your toes towards your face. Dorsiflex. Firm the belly. Find your gazing point. And most of all, breathe. As I like to say, breathe, damn it. Hot damn. Okay, your right arm comes down. You bend your left knee. You square your hips. Lengthen your spine. Make both sides of your sacrum even. Lift through the leg of your right leg where your butt meets your leg. Firm your sitting bones towards each other and just the rotation in the upper back. Just the rotation in the thoracic area. Open. And then when you're ready, bring your right knee in and your foot down. Exhale. Inhale, rise up. Big stretch. Exhale, chair pose. Hands to your heart, and we're going to twist to the right. So, tush down, chest up. Tush down, chest up. Don't text in class. Keep your chest long. Away from your belly button. Belly button in. Sternum away from your hips. Long spine. Back to center. So here I'm using the lever of my right arm to help me with my twist. My right hip moves back, sternum moves forward. Gaze down at the floor to come up. Inhale, reach up. And hands at your sides. Okay. I mean business now. We're going for the roller. So if you do not have a wheel, don't worry. Grab 2 bricks, and we're going to set up for an upper back stretch. So just like the beginning of a yoga class, put your bricks on the floor, one below the bro strap, one under your head. Don't worry about the rest of this here. If you have a wheel, you can set yourself up with the wheel, just like I'm doing. Or you could just lay over 2 bricks. I'm demonstrating some of the techniques that I use my yoga wheel for. So this one is to stretch my hip flexors, my quads, all the muscles, my obliques, may have to internally rotate that left leg a little bit. And then we do the same. On the right, notice I'm taking time. I'm not moving fast, I'm moving really slow. I'm allowing a lot of breath. I embody my body. I embody my body. And then I'll come down. So if you don't have the wheel, don't worry. You can just use your bricks underneath your upper back. Take your time. This is a good place for bridge pose as well. Feel free to come on down onto your back and do a bridge pose. Really healthy way to breathe. This whole section is for you to just embody some spinal elongation. Undoing where you're leaning forward over your computer, your TV, your couch, your bowl of popcorn, whatever it is. Take your time. Feel free to move your arms in any way just to stretch across your chest. And then you'll come to seated. You'll move your bricks out of the way. And we'll set up for our next piece here. So I do Urdhva Dhanurasana or bridge pose with my feet on bricks. I like a little bit more length. Again, good place for bridge, good place for Urdhva. Expansive breathing into your chest. Breathe as many times as you want to before you come down. Just going to do a little bit of a hamstring and hip flexor stretch here. In between back extension rounds. Happy baby pose. Try to keep your pelvis, the back of your pelvis, on the floor. Should feel your lumbar spine curve away from the floor. Gomukhasana. Nice stretch in the outer hips. I was activating my glutes so much. This is a good stretch. And now I'm going to do a couple more rounds here of bridge pose. I'm really trying to activate the posterior chain of my body, which has just been sitting way too much. Pressing the feet into the earth, rolling your inner thighs down, press the backs of your wrists, the backs of your forearms, the backs of your triceps into the earth, and really lift your chest away from the floor. Bringing the frontal pelvic bones closer to each other. I'm going to go one more round up. Keeping my legs really strong here. Woo! So as you come up, I'm going to do a little jig here. Baddha Konasana. Again, I use props almost all the time. I've got props outside of my thighs. A few cleansing breaths. Forward fold. And now I'm going to take my brick and use it for a little bit more depth in my hip opener. So I've actually placed it underneath my ankles here. And now I'm going to put it between my feet and get extra external rotation, abduction, and then I'm going to neutralize it. Okay, when I grab the brick with my ankles and I bring it up, I'm activating my pelvic floor, I'm activating the inner thighs. And I'm just going to drop the brick. Woohoo! As my friend Chaz says, everybody's doing it. Peace finger around your big toes, big stretch of the hamstrings, long spine. And as the feet come back down, okay, this section here is tuck your right heel close to your pelvic floor. I'm going to use my brick to feel that I'm not shoving one hip forward and pulling the other one back. I'm trying to line up my pelvis and then reach forward. If you need a strap, use your strap. My right knee is bent and just some breath. So we're going to have a little bit of fun right here. A little counter pose, little stretch. The reason you see me using my brick all the time is that I give tender wrists, so I like a little bit softness. Just side bending, wild thing. Shoulders stacked. Anything that feels good here. I'm actually going to grab my bottom leg on the outside and outstretch it. Crisscross the arms to the foot. Vrachasana. Maybe bow your knee to your nose to knee. Lift the chest, extend the spine. And now we'll switch sides. Heel moves as close to left sitting bone as possible. And then we'll reach forward, extend the spine, or just bow in. Anything that feels good here. You can lift the leg up. For me, it's easier too, because then my spine is longer. There's less of that kyphotic lean. Such a pretty day. Okay, here we go. Wild thing. Stretch your hips. Keep supported in that bottom right shoulder. Don't overdo, don't underdo, just do. Grab your outer foot. Whee! And come to seat. Just a little bit of playtime on my own here. Purvottanasana. Look down the front of your body. As you come onto your back, and then we'll come to seat. Now, here's a good place for your inversion. I am going to use my yoga wheel. You can use your bricks. Just to find your way into your inversion. Time to breathe. Time to be. May we all know the beauty of our own true nature. May we bask in it, in the silence and the simplicity of our home. May our homes be a place of health and wellness. When we come out of our rooms into the main living area of our home, may we bring ourselves fully to those we love. Bask in the light of the beauty of each other. Sharing space and time. And love. Surrounding ourselves with wholeness. Surrounding ourselves with compassion. And when you're ready, Just bend your knees. Slowly take your feet to the floor, one at a time. One at a time. Take your time. If you have another pose that you need right now, a forward fold, a lying twist, it's time for that. And now separate yourself from props. Lean back into Shavasana. Just bounce your left leg and your right leg one at a time or both together. Unstick your left shoulder blade, move it away from your right. Lay your arm out on the earth. Do the other side. Take a full breath in. Fill yourself up. And exhale everything out. Leave yourself room for a 6, 7, 10-minute Shavasana, 20-minute Shavasana. Go for it.